other ways. You could have it all.
You know
right?
what? You're right. You're actually
So
absolutely
you could
right.
have it all.
Girls have had sex with me while I've been sleeping. So technically, girls have raped my black ass, if I want to say that. But that's another show.
Yeah, that's not okay, actually.
Huh?
Well, I
That's
don't know
not
how you
okay?
feel about that. No.
No, it's not okay?
No.
Nah, it was good for me. I wish it
As
could
long
happen
as you're
every
okay
day.
with it.
That's a double standard, though, actually. You know, not
Were
to-
you sleeping, actually?
Yeah, I was sleeping. I woke up and then I had to go
Okay.
pee.
Okay.
Were you woken up?
I was woken up by it. We fell asleep spooning. And I woke up and she just snuck it in.
And did you wake up at any point in the process?
I woke up probably as she did it. I'm
As
sure,
she- okay, as
I'm
she
sure
did
it wasn't going on for 30 minutes. That's not the picture I'm trying to paint. You know,
No,
I
and
had to
also,
wake up.
obviously, you were okay with it. It was.
Yeah.
I was saying if it was.
Well,
different
once I
situation.
woke up, I was okay with
Exactly, there you
it.
go.
But she
Okay,
didn't have
all
my
right.
consent beforehand, which means
Yeah.
what?
Good question.
Oh,
What does it
question.
mean?
well, it means I've been raped by a girl before. It's not so bad, and I think you can get over it, fellas, if it happens to you.
What does that
And
mean?
if it hasn't happened to you, it should, goddammit. Because you ain't in demand. If the girl don't want to fuck you while you sleeping, or maybe that was a bad sign. Maybe I didn't get her off. And I went to sleep, and she's like, motherfucker, you went to sleep too fast. Let me get mine.
Well, yeah, I guess it could
I've
work
blacked
in
out.
different ways.
You,
And it had my pants off. The girl left. Yeah, I had
what
that
do
too.
you mean? You blacked out and
Yeah, I blacked out, drank too much in another city that I was at, and brought a girl back and sipping, and then you just wake up the next morning, and you're like, what the fuck happened? I've been in those
Okay.
situations before. Now, should I come back after that girl now once I figured it out? No, because I think too much time passed. And if this much time passed, been like 6-7 years, then it wasn't that bad, was it?
it doesn't mean that it was okay. It was non-consensual sex, and that's never
exactly.
okay.
It's never okay. But I
Yeah.
think there's a double standard with dudes. You know what? We'll just cover this once double standard, I think. I think this is good. Just juicy. And then we'll go back to differentiation shows. We ain't got much time. But that double standard, there's one where if I can get it up, that means I liked you. I wanted to have sex if I got it up. And men, because of sexual dimorphism of the secondary characteristics, we used to be smaller. Adult women used to be adults. Larger than adult men, but the patriarch took over. Men lived a different lifestyle that made us bigger, and I thank them. Thank you, guys. So we walk around much bigger.
Yeah.
So I can fight you off if you are trying to take it from me. I can fight you off if you don't want it. So if it happens to me, I must have wanted
I
it.
see what you mean.
That's the stereotype.
Okay.
And I agree with you. It's not okay. And most people think it's okay unless there's a baby out of the situation.
But it's still not okay.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
when it's not consensual. I mean, it would be kind of like giving the same message that a woman who's having sex and in the middle stops and says she doesn't want to. You know?
Yeah.
And so just because a man has a hard on, it's not a license to have sex.
You made me
Without
think of
consent.
another one. I've
Yeah.
been in some positions where it's like dick control, right? I'm not trying to come yet, and she's having a great time. And if I can make this last 20 more minutes, she's really going to fucking like me. I'm going to
Okay.
make her have 2 orgasms, and then I'm going to be the one. So this is how this shit works. So we get in this situation. I'm like, baby, don't move. Don't move. And then she's like, jiggle, 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 jiggle. and then makes me come, right? If I say stop, if that's reverse, right? Say
Yeah.
something's wrong. Like, it doesn't have to be a pleasure thing. There could just be something with her stomach or her uterus or
Yeah.
something. If she says, hey, stop, and I go in for those next pumps, what's that? If she says stop and I go for the next pumps, just like the girl, if I say, hold on for a second, regardless the motive now.
Yeah.
Because her motive could have been health, and my motive could have been, I'm trying to get you to really fucking like me. So stop for a second so I get some dick control. I'm fucking again for another 20 minutes. Regardless of the motive, I think that there's no mean no for a guy and a girl. What do you both think? Is there a double standard, or rape is rape no matter what? No means no. Whether it happens to a guy or happens to a girl.
I think it just
I think
it happens to individual. It's not like no, however it is communicated verbally, non-verbally, it's the emphasis is about building communication. And I think that's what's not taught in school or in society. What does consent feel like? You know, and what does it feel like when it's not? And so whether it's happening to a boy, a little girl, a man, it happens to all kinds
So
of
is
people.
there a double standard or
But there is
equality
there-
across the board? Where
No, there
because
is.
I like how you run around that you interview talking, trying to give me a safe answer, not to offend
No,
anybody. But you can
no.
say what the fuck you want to say.
No, but
on this show.
I'll tell you, like, legally there's no difference, right? Like, rape is rape. It doesn't matter who you are, if it's
But there is a
rape-
difference.
for a man or a woman.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well-
penetration, right? Like, that's like
Yeah.
one way of doing it, right? One way of defining it is like, is there like non-consensual penetration of any kind,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then there's what society perceives
I know.
as
Like,
it's okay and it's not, and that's what,
Statutory rape.
yeah,
What the fuck is that shit?
Right?
But meanwhile, if you're 30 and you get parents' permission or pay them off, then you can fuck their
Yeah.
kid who's 15.
Yeah.
And you 30. I live in a country like this. I also live in a country that they'll let a man marry another man before a man can marry two women. So what kind of fucking lifestyle are you promoting? Fuck that shit.
it's a lifestyle of love, actually, on that end.
They don't have to love. They don't have to
no,
love.
but that's
you
why-
think,
no,
you think
but-
all them
but- no,
loving
but
each
that's
other?
different.
They got
But
the
that's
same
like-
problems all we got.
But yeah, no, and that's where like lawyers around divorce do really well. But
And you know what? How come they're not asexual then? Hey, but
to
wait.
go for
how come they're
everyone,
not
they're
asexual?
sorry,
How come they're not asexual? Asexual can love without sex.
yeah.
So how
that's-
come they're not that? If it's about love, why can't you just love somebody without the sex then?
But there are people who love without sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are asexual.
Yes.
That's not what I was talking about.
That's not what, okay. You're talking
Yeah,
about something.
I was
No,
talking
no, no,
about
no.
the-
But I want to come back to like what.
Okay,
you,
let's come back down to it. Yeah.
what around consent, and it's like when you have a 12-year-old boy having sex with a 25-year-old woman, and he gets a badge of honor from society. Oh, he's having sex. You know, no, that's not sex. That's rape. You know, and so we need to kind of like.
Is
shift.
it if she say yes?
She's 25 and he's 12?
Yeah, that's statutory rape, isn't it? That's rape. It's consent. If she said take my pussy,
He's 12. If it was a
Okay.
12-year-old girl with a 25-year-old
if
man,
the 12-year-old girl picked up the 25-year-old man
it's rape.
on his behalf. Listen up.
If you have a 12-year-old and a 25-year-old, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. But the way society
But
describes it, when
Oh,
it's
okay.
a boy it's doing
Gotcha.
it,
Gotcha.
then it's like, oh, great. He
Got-
tells that to his friends. It's
oh.
just like, oh, great, you're a man
I
now.
missed that. Sorry. Got
Right?
you. Got you.
And I think that's why we have to kind of like shift the many layers of the
Or
conversation.
it should be something exciting for a man that a woman is just gonna do that in the middle of the night. You know, like, well, if you're a man,
Yeah, stereotypes.
you should like that. I mean, you were already hard. I mean, it was your, whatever. But then,
I'm an example of that stereotype, but I'm trying to get out of you, and I feel like both of you won't get because as soon as when you give me a stand on it, I can run with it.
well, I just think
Where
it,
is it no
it
means
could be.
no
You
across
seem
the
to
board,
say you said
or
that
is
it was
there a
okay
double
with you,
standard?
that you were happy.
Yeah, but that's for
after.
me.
So you
you're-
expressed, but you expressed that, and so I think if someone says, "No, I never said this was okay," then that's where it becomes clear, you know. But also, some people might be afraid to say, "I didn't say that this was okay," because that would mean they were less of a man, or they were less like, sexual, you know. So
Okay.
And the idea like that it's rape is without pleasure, that's also false.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, some
'Cause
girls
the
like
body,
that shit.
The body has
If
a
you kiss
reaction.
and
If you
hug
have
her
an
after, she
orgasm.
might come find you.
Wait, she may actually
Ah,
not.
that's fucked up. I could have kept
Yeah,
that one.
that
I'm
you could have
fucked
kept
up.
that one. But or it may also be that you have a physical reaction.
Yeah, if you have an
or-
orgasm during rape, does it make
Is
it not
it?
rape? It
I know,
happens.
and that's the issue. But you know what? Women
Also
who get
because we're fed
interrogated
lots
when
of
they go to rape
sti-
refer, they prefer to go to rape referral centers than the cops because cops ask fuck up questions like that make them
Exactly.
seem like sluts, and they don't like that shit.
Exactly.
Well, and also because we have so many different, like even just in TV or movies, but we have so many images that are associated with violence and sex, and so you might actually be stimulated, you might actually be excited by it, and then that's okay. It's just that maybe it wasn't what you wanted, but then you get confused.
I've met
because-
some girls that wanted me to choke the fuck out of them, like too strong. I was like,
Yeah.
no, sorry. And eventually, it didn't work, and I knew why because she found another motherfucker who would choke the shit out of her.
But you know what?
But for me, I couldn't do it.
That's okay.
Because
though,
if I liked
yeah,
that,
she-
I would have been different.
But she wanted that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but that's fine if she wants it. That's
Yeah.
cool. I just
Yeah.
couldn't go there, but I was just banking off what she was saying.
Yeah. But I think just to what to summarize
Indigo.
a little bit what Indigo was saying
Yeah.
about like what sex like rape being about power and not sex, and just to be able to remember that, like, it's.
But it's not about power.
It is. Rape is all about its power.
It's about having sex without the person's yes.
Yeah, but the person who's doing
permission.
it's not for sex
The-
because they just want to have sex. It's because
There's
it's-
power in
it's-
paying somebody for some pussy.
there's
Now,
there's
if I say I'm
power.
going to pay her, okay, you tell me this then. If I say I'm going to pay her,
Yeah.
and I leave the money on the dresser, we fuck. I get ready to go, pull up my pants, and I take the money back off the dresser and I leave. Is that rape?
No, I mean,
No, it's not.
Hold
That's
on.
theft.
So-
Goddammit.
but no, because you've agreed to something.
But that's theft. Yeah,
She's
if you
theft.
agree to a contract, yeah, you see what I'm saying. But
contract.
you know how many cases get what is it? Recalled, misclaims, all kinds of stuff. Because I feel like there's not enough information actually about what it actually really is. It's not about power. There's power in. There's power in.
It can
in
be
loving,
about power sometimes.
But there's power in just loving that she's believing the bullshit that I'm feeding her and she'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
there's power in just lying to somebody and they fucking go for it and you're like, yeah, and you're addicted to the newness and find new people to do that to.
But you
But
also,
that's not rape either.
Well-
Rape really comes down to taking sex without permission. And there's gray zones about if they're blacked out or pass out, which are two different things, or sleeping. And that's where it gets complicated. I got blackout stories I can share, and I have sleeping stories I can share. I also have a blackmail story I can share. But it doesn't have the student-teacher relationship to it, so I'm going to lose. I can't even bring it to the cops. And I see the same dynamics that other women are in. I see it. So now if I want to throw this there. For the people who do believe that there is a double standard, no, I got that backwards. Sorry. For the people who do think that it's equal across the board, and that rape is the same from a guy or from a girl, it's not the same. And if you're a person who thinks it's equal, then I'm here to tell the public that rape is not so bad and get the fuck over it. But if I can say that,
but you
that's
know what?
evil and kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
And I believe there's a double standard. Double standards exist. And rape to a dude is not as bad as if it happens to a girl. I'm just going to be there.
Depends on
Because
the
I've
context.
had it happen
hold
to
on.
me too.
Okay, but
And
what
I can't
qualifies
say-
as not bad though?
You didn't have a traumatic experience. You don't feel like you were violated even though you were. What's
really
the
depends
difference
on the
between a
context.
submissive fantasy
you
and a
didn't
rape?
feel that way.
Right.
No, I didn't. I said I enjoyed it and I'd
that's
love
it.
to wake up
You
to
are
it every
special.
morning.
Then I don't know. That's a different story. That's a
Yeah.
different story. So just to say we can't. I don't think we should generalize because it really depends on the context.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
But
very
this is where we
sensitive.
get spicy. We're here to have the controversial conversation some people are scared
No,
to have.
but the thing is,
we
it's
can
like
do it here.
some people might not think that it's, and I'm not speaking for you, but I'm
No,
just
for
thinking
sure.
and
Some people.
that
No
but it
absolutes.
wasn't so bad because they experienced some pleasure,
Yeah.
and you know,
That
and
too.
they
And
and
if
that
you
they're
were to
not
say that,
traumatized.
Hey,
Okay,
did you like it? It wasn't rape then.
but that's very much at the conscious level. So then when
Mm-hmm.
you look deeper at what actually going on at the subconscious and like the repression of feelings and what does it mean to be in the society as a man and come out and say like, listen, I've experienced rape. I'm going to the cops. I'm going through the whole
Yeah, I mean,
process.
you never hear that.
We don't hear about those stories.
You don't.
Exactly.
Because it's. I think there's an association of shame or
Yeah.
like
No,
men
not
wouldn't
shame.
want. I think a man saying I've been raped is a very hard thing to
No,
say.
by a girl
Yes.
is no
Or-
problem.
but
Oh,
But if you've been raped by a man, there's less
I don't
reported
know.
cases.
I
of
would like to have another
man-to-man
man
rape
in the
than man to
conversation
woman.
for this.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that
tried to
would
get
be-
my homies didn't show up this time.
but I
Hopefully
think
next time we can bring it up again
Yeah.
because I think it'd be really
I'm
hard
gonna
for a
actually
man to
have a
admit that
stereotypes
a
and double
woman
standard show.
raped him. That's like
There's no shame to that, motherfucker. I was sleeping and she just slipped a dick in. There's no shame to
you
that.
didn't. You didn't say that. If you say that
We
woman
fell-
raped me,
Yeah.
that's different. The
There's
language.
no shame to that.
But you
I'll say
didn't
it.
describe it.
I think I can
initially
count 6
that
women
way.
in my life that raped me. It was fine. One left me with some confusion. I didn't understand what was going on. But either way, my wallet was still there. I had the money in it,
Mm-hmm.
and just the alcohol was gone.
Well, I'm happy for you because I mean that's the best outcome you can consider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? I don't know if I would killed by that girl. That's the still reality of the situation. I could. It's all about the sperm now. I wasn't
Yeah.
awake. She could have got it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think she did,
but
but I don't know.
Yeah.